Republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone may be seated. Before I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we'll call the roll, but anyone that wishes to, that's going to want to speak during our public comment section, please make sure you sign the sheet back there if you would. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. City Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Hooper.
Present.
Councilmember Brooks Frazier.
Here.
Councilmember Henderson.
Here.
Councilmember Tolfree.
Present.
Councilmember Mosley.
Here.
And Councilmember Atkins.
Okay, we do have a quorum, 5 members present. Just for the record, Councilmember Atkins did contact us. She's apparently come down with something. It's just not feeling well at all, and we just got word from her just a little while ago, so that's why she's not here tonight. But there are some reports and things we'll provide from her and her committee. All right, we'll go ahead and get started here with the agenda. We're on item 4, approval or action upon the minutes of the April 14, 2025 council meeting.
I move that the minutes of April 14th be approved as emailed and received by hard copy. Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Tell me you don't get who makes them. Question, discussion, any corrections, anything? We got a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. Is there any question or discussion or correction or addition, subtraction, anything that any council member needs to bring up on it? Not, all those in favor of approval, show of hands, please. I see 5 in favor, and that approves the minutes. That'll bring us to the city clerk's report. Item number 5, she's got all of that in your packet. You just need to look over all of that. I'm not going to go over all of it, but you can see that we're pretty well going along fairly well with our budget for this. This is of course through April. I think we're in decent shape everywhere, but cash flow's still tight. And anyway, you can look at that. You can see our cash balances. That's 2 or 3 sheets. It's got all that in your packet. Tells you every account in the city, beginning balance before the month of April started, and then the ending balance. A lot of those are special funds, but you can see all of that. You've got your city and county sales tax, which is the bulk of our city revenue these days. You will notice that for April, we pulled in $78,877.38 that we received in April. That is up just slightly. We've been down the last couple of months, but we're still behind for the year over last year. Same next page is the county sales tax. It likewise was just slightly up. Again, for the year, we are down. Not drastic, but the cost of everything is having a real impact. And then you've got the Bradley County District Court report. Comes from the court system, gives you all that information. Council?
Move that we approve the financial revenue and expenditures as received by hard copy and overviewed by the mayor.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, I think I got the second over here for Councilmember Brooks Frazier. It was close, but I think she did that. So, questions or discussions on any of the financial reports? Anything you got a question about? Obviously, you can take this, read it, look at it, do whatever you need to do. But if you got any questions right now, feel free to ask. All right, we do need to approve. All in favor, show of hands, please. I see 5 in favor, is that correct? Okay, 5 in favor, of course, 1 absent. All right. That will carry us to item 6, the mayor's report. And I promise I'll make this very, very brief. I want to give everybody an update on our industrial prospects and the work. And this is not your packet. I'm just going to give this verbally to you. The biochar plant things are really dragging, and I think we gotta wait to see what's gonna happen. I think we'll know something in the next couple of weeks. I think it has to do with financing. I think it has to do with tariffs, proposed tariffs. I think it has to do with a number of things. But the company still says they're gonna proceed, but they gotta, sign off on everything with Arkansas Development Finance Authority, as y'all know. So we gotta see how that works out. I will tell you, Mr. Glenn Scherer, a gentleman that I think most of y'all have met at some point in time, but really started this thing, brought the project to us. He has separated himself from the company that's currently trying to finalize it. He's got a new group, and he's interested in doing something regardless of how this one turns out. So it's still alive. The project out on the northeast side of town, the BCDC owned property with the Ammon Corporation out of Minnesota. That project is still very much alive, but it's going very slowly. We're probably looking at another year before we're gonna know how that's gonna work out one way or the other. So I just wanted to update y'all on that. As far as the new land acreage out here that the BCDC's in the presence or in the process of getting the loan closed, and of course there would be a lease that would come back between the city and the BCDC. We talked to Mr. Roper today, Ricky Roper, because he's the attorney for the BCDC. He's in contact with ADFA, Arkansas Development Finance Authority. He thinks they're within 2 to 3 weeks of closing, being ready to close. And actually the BCDC take ownership of the property. So we're close. We're, I think, very close on that. Let me see if there's anything I'm forgetting. Did want to also report to you, not something we're directly involved in, but indirectly, the old hardwood flooring plant out here, AHFT, that closed down. They had told us that they might come back, reopen that facility, but not to hold our breath. That's not a very good report from them. But that project, they have apparently turned that place over to a commercial real estate company which has been in touch with the city. It's just letting us know that they were going to be marketing that place, so we're trying to watch that very carefully. I think there is a prospect or two that's talking to them. So a lot of stuff being looked at, but very little been closed off at this point, so or finalized. So that's about all I can tell you right now. We are working hard. Those projects are all real live possibilities to create jobs. The Warehouser project, located in Drew County, but the property was owned by the Southeast Intermodal, which Warren had 25% of. They have started on the land clearing over there. That project is moving. Again, that'll be about a $700 million project, 200 jobs. The other things we're talking about are a little bit smaller, but we're running everywhere from 25 to 50 jobs, depending on what happens and what works out on each one of those projects. So we're spending every moment we can working on this from the city's perspective, trying to help, trying to facilitate. We're not directly involved in any of those projects. Those are private sector companies that are working with different investors and ADFA, but we are trying to help every way we can. Anybody got a question on anything that I can publicly talk about? All right, next thing, item of business, we got proposed ordinance 971, and this would deal with authorizing Council Member Burks Frazier, as we've done for a number of years, to oversee and manage the West Side Pool, which we're actively already working on, trying to get ready to open for the summer.
What is the ordinance number?
Ordinance is number 971.
I move that we place ordinance number 971 on its first reading.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded by Councilmember Toll-Free. Any question or discussion on putting it on its first reading? All in favor, show of hands. I see 4 in favor, 1 abstention,
One abstain.
and 1 absent. That is sufficient. Proposed ordinance 971, ordinance permitting council member Burks Frazier to hold employment with the city of Warren, whereas the city of Warren, Arkansas has need for qualified personnel, and whereas restricting employment of employees to exclude elected officials would handicap the city's efforts to employ qualified personnel in such positions, whereas Arkansas Code 1442-107 may in some instances be interpreted as preventing such employment in the absence of an authorizing ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of Warren, Arkansas, Section 1, with the understanding that Memory Burks Frazier, as a council member of the City of Warren, Arkansas, is hereby authorized to hold employment as manager of the Warren City Pool at a rate salary of $1,200 every 2 weeks per season in consideration of said employment. Section 2, all ordinances previously enacted in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed.
I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 971 on its second reading.
Second.
All right, got another motion and second that the rules be suspended. Proposed ordinance 971 be put on its second reading. Is there any question or discussion to that motion? All those in favor of second reading, show of hands, please. All right, I'm still seeing 4 in favor, 1 abstention, Councilmember Burks Frazier, and 1 absent. That's sufficient. Proposed ordinance number 971, an ordinance permitting Councilmember Memory Burks Frazier to hold employment in the city of Warren.
I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 971 on its third and final reading.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion on that motion? This was for third reading. All in favor, show of hands. I see 4 in favor,
Abstain.
1 abstention, couldn't get the word out, and 1 absent. That is sufficient for third reading. Proposed ordinance 971, ordinance permitting council member Memory Burks Frazier to hold employment with the city of Warren.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 971.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded that proposed ordinance 971 be adopted. Any question or discussion? This is a vote to adopt. All in favor of the motion to adopt, show of hands. 4 votes in favor, 1 abstention, and 1 absent. That is sufficient. The ordinance is passed. It'll be, of course, published. There's not an emergency clause, but she's still operating under the former contract, so this goes into effect anyway. Okay, so that takes care of that. Thank you. I want to give a very brief report on the depot. Of course, we've had a contract getting some repairs that had to be made and some upgrades to the old depot. It is complete, 100% complete with what you contracted to do. So it's still available for rent, and we're actively making it available for folks to use as they need to. So just give you that update. Be glad to carry anybody over and look at it if you want to, but it's much better shape than it was. Item 4, I want to just give y'all again a brief unwritten report. We are working on a number of grant projects, some of which we will hopefully bring back to the city council for your approval. The one that I'm most disappointed in right now is we thought we had found something for the cultural center, which, as y'all know, needs some major repairs and upgrades. But we thought $300,000, $400,000 we'd found through FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. Well, if you watch the news, you probably have seen, first of all, that particular grant program has been terminated by the executive branch of government. They terminated that program. They're even talking about terminating FEMA as an agency. That's the folks that come in and take care, help everybody when you have tornadoes and natural disasters. We're still looking. And I am gonna have a proposal in the near future, which I'll be wanting to talk with the Ways and Means Committee about, which kind of goes along with some other things I know they're gonna be talking about. We've also got, we found a grant that we think could be used, maybe to do a little bit of renovation on this room, to make it a little bit more suitable as a council meeting room. Everybody, I think, knows this was really a courtroom when it was built. City Council, of course, has always met in here since this building was renovated a number of years ago. But it does need to be changed up. We're not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars or nothing, but maybe 20 or 30,000 to kind of fix it up with a good sound system and recording system, which we are required to record all meetings by state law now. So we're working on that. We are working on a grant again for the West Side Pool, even though we're gonna Band-Aid it up and make it work this year, but it's got some major repairs that need to be made. And there is a grant through the Outdoor Parks and Recreation Department of Tourism for the state of Arkansas. We've used those programs before, and we think we got a good chance of getting some money to take care of that. We're also looking at another grant we found to buy some more cameras. I know the council's aware, we bought 3 of those flock cameras, and you'll get a little report on that in a minute. Of course, we have to basically lease those on an annual basis. You don't buy those, you buy the service from the company. These are high definition cameras. We're wanting to put some in other areas that the city would own, and we would have access directly into our communication center and dispatch center at the police department. So we're working on several things like that. I may be forgetting something, but I think right off the top of my head, that's pretty much what we're looking at the moment. Okay? All right. Council members, do y'all have anybody that you need to recognize? I'm going to get to the people that signed in, but the council member, do y'all have anybody you wish to recognize at this point? Okay, we got several people here. Mr. Doug Thornton.
Yes.
Doug, if you don't mind, just step around. You can go out and around. It might be easier, but it don't matter, whatever works best. And you're recognized. I think they know who you are, but state your name for the record if you would.
I'm Doug Thornton, also known around here locally as Redneck Gourmet. And I've come to speak about the mobile food ordinance that y'all have passed. Very disappointed in the city with this. One question I would like to ask to start off with, did any of the elected council members speak to anybody within this industry before this was passed on? I understand it was unanimous vote.
Now, council members, if anybody wants to answer that, you can. This is not a public hearing. You don't have to answer anything, but you can make whatever comments you want to.
That's
If
fine.
they want to, they can. That's okay.
That's fine. We have a slogan here. It says, "Come grow with Warren." We're going to grow right out of town. The food truck industry here in Warren has been a valuable asset to this area. I'm speaking from this because I think I'm the oldest operating one. I haven't operated much the last couple of years after Mother got sick. Haven't done much, but very simply put, I'm done with City of Warren. I've been contacted by other cities wanting me to come. I've done that before, and which I guess if I'm going to operate any, that's what it would be. Today, in the state of Oklahoma, the governor signed a bill today that issued a statewide permit fee for food trucks that trumps anything that local municipalities does. They can operate anywhere. The state of Texas has a similar bill that they're voting on today because of the trouble that all the food truck industry has had with local governments. From what y'all are saying here now, I don't have a problem with regulation some of the regulation that's in there. The biggest problem I have is $1,000 a year. You're putting people out of business. You're gonna do away with an industry. And I don't know why we're trying to get rid of the industry. You mentioned a second ago, Greg, some of your smaller projects for 25 and 30 or 40 employees. You're fixing to put about 25 employees out of work in Bradley County of the people that's got their food trucks. Because they're not gonna stay here to pay that kind of fee. Not from the surrounding, when you look at the surrounding areas, nobody, we are always compared against Monticello. Almost twice the population. Yet we went to 10 times their permit fee, from $100 to $1,000. But they're the one we're always compared to. The logic doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand that. Another, I guess since nobody will answer me, we see that we can't operate before 10 o'clock. So I guess that means somebody with wanting to come into town and do a breakfast truck, they can't operate in the morning. You say you now want us to provide you with a proof of sales tax each month. Are the local restaurants required to do that? Or have we been singled out because we are competition? Competition is what made democracy. Yet it seems that the good old boy network has got come into play. I'm very disappointed in my city. Yes, I don't live in the city, I still have a property owner in the city, but I'm very disappointed. I don't understand the logic. It seems like we're wanting to get rid of the industry. Food trucks have made up, since the pandemic, they have had a growth of over almost 11% nationwide. Since the pandemic, food prices have gone up nationwide approximately 26.7%. We have to put up with weather like we have today. It doesn't affect the brick and mortar businesses, but it sure affects us out there. I'm at a loss. I don't understand. You say you're going to, we also, regardless that we've passed state health department regulations, which are very stringent, they come at least twice a year to check us out. We have to have undergone testing to get food safety certificates, and yet now we're going to be subject to 2 more inspections from the city inspector and the fire chief. Have they had training to look at the mobile food units? So what are they going to be looking for that the state hadn't already approved? I don't think that's too much to ask. What are they going to be looking for that hadn't already been checked on? But again, I'm disappointed. I think that I don't think there's a food truck operator, and I know there's more here that would like to speak. I don't take too much time, but I don't think anybody here has a problem with regulations that are involved with it. It's the amount of the fee. You're going to drive people out of this town. Was that what the purpose of this ordinance was? To run an industry out of town? It's sure what it seems like to us. I'm very disappointed in my city. Very disappointed. And you should be too.
I hope I'm reading this right. Jill, is it Jill? Do I have the right? Can't read the last name. Is that, okay, yes ma'am. Come on around and. If you would state your name.
My name is Jill Dawn.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here in Sandy's on Cooking. And Mr. Thornton, I think you said everything we need to say. I just have one thing that I'm concerned. Is that when I called my alderman to ask questions. If I call 3 or 4 people on the board and nobody knows what was in the ordinance, that's really disappointing. When you call your alderman and you ask them questions, they didn't know it was on you on the ordinance. Makes no sense to me. So why you sitting up here if you're not gonna know what's on the ordinance? Don't let somebody read something to you. You need it in black and white so you can understand it. So that's my problem that I have. That looks really bad for the city of Warren when you call your alderman and she don't know. So that's the problem that I have. And the 10 o'clock thing, I'm like him. We're gonna pay you $1,000. We should be able to operate when we want to. That's not fair at all. And that's all I have.
Okay.
All right.
Kenna?
Yes, sir.
You're next.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
State your name. I think most everybody knows you, but state your name,
Hey,
please.
my name is Kenneth Dunn. Help operate Sandy's Home Cooking. And I'm here out of concern. Now, my concern is this right here. $250 for every 3 months is a little steep. When our state only requires us to pay $35 a year. Every town that I go in, I go and make sure I purchase a privilege license. And the privilege license will allow me to function within that time. The most expensive license that I purchased, Monticello, $100, but that $100 is only for a year. So that's the first issue that I have with this ordinance. I don't have a problem with the ordinance. I just have a few problems with some of the stuff that's listed in the ordinance. Now, when you ask to see our statement pertaining to our personal taxes or our state taxes that we pay, I think that's a little redundant. We don't ask to see nobody's W-2 form to make sure.
Now, hold on, Mr. Don.
Yes, sir.
That is not what the ordinance calls for, to see your personal stuff.
I-
It says you have a
what's the state?
permit.
But it said our state, they want to see our state tax,
No,
our
sir.
sales tax, is that correct? They want to see our sales tax that we pay?
No, sir.
Let-
That is
can we
not
go-
correct. Now, listen, I'm not
Oh,
going
no, we're
to
not
put
figuring
false
out.
information
Okay,
you put out.
well, let's go back to it.
All that deals with is everybody's required by state law to already to have a permit so that sales taxes are being paid. We just want to make everybody don't get one.
Okay, everybody.
And that's what the purpose of that.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, let's-
Not to look at your personal tax information, to make sure you've got the permit so that the taxes are being paid in, the sales taxes, like every other business in Warren is. Just want to be clear about that,
Okay,
okay?
let's keep the train moving.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, that's fine, go ahead.
If we are required to pay $250, now it seems like our ready today is null and void anyway, because if I read right on Facebook today, this ordinance will go in effect on the 23rd of this month. So that says to me that no matter what we say, it's a done deal. And I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll give it a apology. So now, back to this. You're asking us to pay $250. I'm just gonna throw out some numbers. You're asking us to pay $250. We pay $30 for our privilege license. I pay $100 a month salary. Now my insurance on my food truck, according to the people that I have it with, they had to increase me to $1 million. Then after they increased me to $1 million on my food truck, they said since I'm gonna be putting it with my truck, I have to make sure I got $1 million worth of coverage on that too as well. So, with my insurance, the $1,000 that you asked, the lot that I sit on, $250 a month, $3,000 a year. I'm already at the beginning of the year about $6,000 in the hole. I spend $2,000 a week at Super Value, I spend $400 a week at the propane, and God knows how much I spend in cash for diesel. Spend about $500 a month with shelter, and I think that's just asking us to do too much with the $250. In my opinion, and I could be wrong, how do a town supersede the state when the state don't allow us to pay $30? I'm not saying that we pay $30. I'm not saying that we pay $100, but I am saying if I have to pay $250, I'm like Gourmet. I pull my truck out of Warren. And when I pull my truck out of Warren, that means SuperValue lose, that means propane lose, that means Cassius lose, that means the Dollar General loses, because I shop at all those stores. So that will be taking revenue and income away from those. But that being said, I'm gonna take my seat and exit out. Just hope that you take all this into consideration. God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Jeff Johnson? No, sir. Your time's done.
I just wanted to have a
No, sir.
clarification.
No, sir. You know, you're making no more comments. That's not the way the rules work. It's not a public hearing. Johnson, come on up.
All I wanted was a clarification on what he just did. You see what I'm saying?
How you doing?
Yes, sir. State your name.
Jeff Johnson. I try to support, I'm not a business owner of none of these people, but I do try to support everyone. And if these people does pay this $250 quarterly bill, they gotta go up on all their food. And as you said a while ago, everything else is so high you can't afford nothing. So, these is the only people that you can really eat at in Bradley County that smiles in your face every time you support them. They tell you thank you whenever you pay for your food. If you need anything else, to let them know. Where you can eat anywhere else in Warren and you get rude service. I mean, you can go to McDonald's and they mess your orders up. Where these people, they stand up for everything that they do. I mean, it sounds like in the meeting, y'all have done made your mind up, but it would be nice if somebody would reconsider the people that actually feeds us. Like, we might buy the food from them, but if y'all make them pay this tremendous amount of money, like, they gotta put it back off on us, and they're not trying to do that. But if you listen to the meeting, it sounds like to me, I mean, the city wants more money because things is going sideways and you're taking it out of their pockets. I mean, looking from the outside in, this was all stated upon and they had no input on it, but nobody out there can get an answer from nobody because y'all made your mind up without even considering the community's input. But anything that you see on any social media, it says to come to Warren and grow with us. I mean, but Monticello's doesn't get all of our business once again. I mean, that's all I got to say, thanks.
I'm not sure I can read this, starts with an R.
Rakita.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Come up and state your full name so they know who you are. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Rakita San Nicholas, and I'm a resident in the city of Warren. And I just wanted to come out and show support to the small business owners to let them know we stand with y'all. We don't necessarily agree with what's going on, and as Jeff has already stated, the decision's been made. And wherever y'all go, we're gonna follow in the city of Warren and have to deal with the fallout. If you wanna go up to Monticello, I will go to Monticello. There's no places for us to really even sit down and eat. And now we don't have any places to go and get a home cooked meal. Everybody don't wanna eat Pizza Hut. Everybody don't wanna eat McDonald's. but I can go to Miss Jill's trailer and go get a good southern plate, like what Momo cooked. And for them to not pass that buck off on us and try to give us that food for a decent price, how is that fair to them? We always holler shop local, support small businesses, but y'all made a decision on behalf of small businesses, and none of them were invited to the table. It was already made, and it may be off subject, but I find it even more crazy that we're sitting here having this meeting, and we can't go to the gym to support our lumberjacks getting inducted into the Hall of Fame because we gotta handle stuff like this. That don't make no sense. You want support, but it's not given in the right places. The decision's been made. Redneck Gourmet, what's your name, sir?
Doug Thornton.
Mr. Doug Thornton's already agreed that he's gonna pull his business out, and I can guarantee you, there'll be people to follow suit. We talking, come grow with us, but what are we growing besides pine trees and spiders? I guess nothing.
Okay, next person on my list is Miss Dolly Rudder. You're recognized. If you come forward, please. You're recognized. Tell them who you are.
I am Dolly Woodard Rudder. I was born in Bradley County. I was raised in Ebenezer, and I went to school, had a very good high school education at Banks, Arkansas. I went to UAM and got an undergraduate degree in psychology and science. I went on to the University of Arkansas and have a master's degree in high school counseling. I have traveled to 37 countries. I have gone to every state in the United States. I have lived in several different towns in Arkansas. I have never lived outside of Arkansas, and I have had the pleasure to return to Warren, Arkansas, to Bradley County, because it is the finest place on earth. And I'm here to serve my community. And I know that y'all had discussed a recycling center, and I didn't know what had come with that. So could you give me a little update on that?
Well, just very briefly, because again, I have time, and it's but I'll be good. Yes, of course, we have a recycling drop-off center already down here for cardboard and paper.
And there's a discussion about another one.
There is another one. No, ma'am, it's going to, well, it started out here.
Okay.
The other one's going to be at the Senior Citizen Center.
Okay.
Out there on Maple Street. Be a drop-off, but we are doing some other things we've got in the works too.
Well, that's what I'm interested in. I was a high school counselor, and I was very concerned that there was some concern about the recycling center close to the swimming pool, and I wanted to address that. As a high school counselor and a mother, that touched my heart. Mothers protect their children, and sometimes people don't realize there are predators out there. Twice last week, I was contacted about a predator around my house, which is in this district right here. I'm very happy about recycling. I want to support y'all. If I can be of any help, I've lived a lot of places and would like for y'all to contact me if I can help you at all on that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, that's everyone I believe we had on the list to speak. So we will move on from our public
Hey, Mayor,
opportunity.
can I say one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
So I understand that the food trucks are upset about the fee, and we're listening to you all. but everybody says the food trucks didn't have an input. The ordinance was on agenda for months. We discussed the agenda monthly about what we were looking for. We were gonna look at, other cities. I mean, it's probably close to a year we've been looking at this ordinance. And not one person has come forward and said one thing until we took action, and then that brought everybody in. So, if you wanna have a say in city government, continue coming to the meetings, not when there's just a problem, but when you have good things to input too.
Might just add, all of our city council members are recorded and publicly broadcast. So just mention that as well, so the news media, of course, covered. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's try to move on here if we can. Administrative standing committee reports, and ask the police chief if he would come forward, please.
Good luck. Okay, Will. Hang on.
You go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. As normal, I do believe you guys have a copy of my monthly report that pretty much shows the statistics of the monthly workings of the police department for the month of April. Everything's pretty much depicted, it's pretty much accurate. As you can tell, we still have the personnel issues as far as certified patrolmen, currently taking applications, and trying to get those positions filled. It's an uphill battle, it's a constant battle, but as long as we can, try to get them filled so we can keep guys on the street. We have a couple of applicants, they're not certified, we're in the process of doing their background checks as we speak now. And maybe something will come of that, but as of right now, we have no certified applicants that have applied for the police department. And I also like to bring to the public's attention while I have this forum, is that we've been getting quite a bit of complaints, upswing complaints as far as parking on narrow streets that are impeding the traffic. Individuals parking on, we have some narrow streets in Warren. We just would implore the public to just be mindful of your neighbors, and that parking on the residential streets that are narrow, to think about that what you're doing is you're impeding. A lot of times when you're parking on the street, you're impeding traffic, making it turn that two-lane traffic to a one-lane traffic road. And we get a lot of complaints in residential areas as far as there are people, your neighbors parking on the street that are impeding their process while they're snacking. If you would talk to your constituents about those neighbors and parking on the street, give the traffic pass.
Would you like
We've seen a strong upswing in complaints of the residential areas for parking on the street.
And what the chief's talking about, just to be clear, we're not talking about people coming to visit somebody for a few minutes. We're talking about people using the street as their private parking places. And some of them, we just don't have, space. That's what he's referring
Right,
to.
and we're patient. We understand that, that sometimes you don't have enough parking for your company and things of that nature, and sometimes it's a necessity. And so the officers, we're not out trying to write tickets, but when we start getting complaints about the people in the traffic, and it can be dangerous, especially when cars park on the wrong side of the road, facing the wrong side of traffic, because they don't have reflectors on that front side of their car, it could cause accidents, things of that nature. So I just ask the public to be mindful of that on the narrow street. That would greatly help us a lot.
Anything else you want to say?
No, Mayor, I'm ready. Any questions that they have, I'll be happy to field them.
Council members, anybody got a question?
Will you just quickly talk about what the flock cameras are gonna do?
Yes, what the flock camera basically will do, they'll monitor traffic and monitor through traffic through the city of Warren. Now, what one of the cameras will do, they'll be license plate readers. So say if we have a stolen vehicle or something of that nature, if it comes into town or somebody steals a car in town, if the car leaves town, the camera will actually read the license plate and give us an alert that we have a stolen vehicle in town, or a wanted person, a missing child, a runaway teenager, things of that nature. Now, the flock cameras that are going to be on the intersections will be on Central and Martin, Martin and Church, and Central and Pine. They're pretty much just going to monitor traffic, and like we have traffic accidents and things of that nature, to just give us a counter depiction of how much traffic we have going through town, and we have accidents over our busiest intersections, and we have accidents there. Not very often, but that's basically what it is. It's just a monitoring system. As a matter of fact, we ought to have one, trying to have one strategically placed, where we're also encompassing what they're going to do, have timers on them. So if we wanted to say like during the day when traffic is slower, if we want to turn away, just watch the city park to monitor the children playing and let me just keep it safe and things of that nature. We can also set timers for it today, but it's just pretty much just to monitor. It's not for surveillance at all, it's just to monitor when we have complaints and things like that.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Any other questions for the police chief on anything of his report or anything else that you need to ask? I can assure you he's had a busy day on some other issues, law enforcement wise. But anyway, okay, we'll go on. You would, chief, just hang loose here. The committee, Councilmember Burt Frazier, you got a couple of items there.
Yes, the committee met May the 6th at 4:30. And first thing we talked about were the job openings. They're down, the police department's down 5 patrolmen. We're actively looking to get new patrolmen in. And then the second thing we talked about were the flock cameras and where they were gonna be positioned, and just as, Chief Hildreth said, what they were gonna do. They're, not surveillance, and they're not gonna be looking in people's cars, but it's strictly to give the police another tool to enforce the laws. And that was all. All members were present, and that was it.
Okay. That's your full report.
It is.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
Would you please pull the fire chief
I
in here?
definitely will. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. Next will be the fire chief, Chief Moore's monthly report. You got it, chief, move ahead.
Good evening. For the month of April, we had 13 calls total. We had 5 calls turned out to the entire department. Total volunteer payroll was $1,830. And we have had a increase in calls this year. I don't attribute that to anything other than just the way it goes, but we are running ahead of last year for calls overall.
What about the collection on the insurance? How we doing? I see a bunch of it says pending here, so.
I just sent a brand new one today. I hope it, I gave it personally to the homeowner from over there on Sturgis Street that was fire this month. And sent one directly to the insurance company, so hopefully that'll.
Questions for the fire chief on anything with the fire report or the fire department you need to ask? Councilmember Toll-Free, Chair of Fire Committee. We
Nothing
didn't
at
have
this
anything
time.
there, but do you have anything you need to?
None at this time.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, we are ready for the attorney page on your agenda. We're ready for sanitation manager, Rob Johnson. Rob's got a number of things in the packet, so Rob, go ahead and cover anything you need to.
We almost have a full crew in the sanitation department again. We lost one of our full-time drivers. We have advertised, we are going to be doing interviews this week. Time is up, and we'll be doing interviews for this week, hopefully. We will be in full compliance this time next week. All the equipment's up and running good, and I don't foresee any problems with anything. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have about the sanitation.
Anybody got anything they need to ask the sanitation manager about? All right, let's go ahead. Sanitation committee, obviously Councilmember Atkins is not able to be here tonight. Mr. Toll-Free, you're kind of the ranking member there. Do you want to say anything, or do you? I can cover it. We got a couple of things need to be acted upon, but if you
Go ahead and cover it, Bert.
okay, thank you, sir. You notice it says on the sanitation committee, item F, bids on garbage containers. Now, this has to do with our changes in our system, which we will be making later on in September when we go to the one garbage pickup a week in the residential and some commercial businesses, but again, this is a money saving move that we're trying to cut our costs because Cost of garbage disposal is skyrocketing. Skyrocketing. I've told y'all that, I'm gonna spend a bunch of time, but part of your plan that you've already approved was to buy, and we need about 2,200 90-gallon garbage cans, which will be assigned to each residence and business in town. They belong to the city of Warren, but they will be assigned to each resident and business for people. These are the ones that roll and can be, closed up, keep animals out of it, and people be able to store a little more garbage longer in most cases if they need one. Bottom line, the company that we were buying it all from, their interest rate was 5.3%. We went out, shopped that out locally with our local banks, and we got a proposal back from Commercial Bank for 4.86, which is obviously going to be something to save us money. And of course, the committee is recommending that you approve that as where we get our financing. So, but you do have to vote on it.
I make a motion, we accept the 4.86 rate for the trash can.
Okay, and it's seconded, Councilmember Mosley. Motion second to authorize us to do the financing for the 2,200 garbage cans through Commercial Bank. Question or discussion on the motion? All in favor, show of hands. I see five, I'll get it right, 5 in favor. Of course, to just tell you for the record, Councilmember Atkins was for this because her committee looked into it closely. Second item under Sanitation Committee's permission to sell an older garbage truck that we don't need anymore. Rob, I think we got something in the packet somewhere there about that. Okay, it's dated April 28th. Y'all see a little kind of a short memo to the city council. That should be.
It's in there.
All right. Rob, tell them real quick what you're trying to do.
We've got a garbage truck that has broken down. I got an estimate on getting it repaired, about $21,000. 2010 Mack with a 2011, I believe, McNeilus bed, garbage bed on it. I don't really see the need to get it repaired because we do have we have another extra that we are going to keep. And I just think it'd probably be a good time to get rid of it.
I make a motion to sell the junk truck.
Motion's appropriate. Is there a second? Second. Of course, this will get it off insurance and all kinds of stuff, and hopefully pocket a little bit of money for the department. Question or discussion on the motion to authorize it be sold? All in favor, show of hands, please. And I see 5 votes in favor. Thank you very much. Okay, I want to just point this out. Rob went over it. We removed 12 more old cars today. Not today, but this past month. Folks, and we still got tons of them out there. Junk cars that don't run, aren't licensed. And, but we've moved how many now in the last year and a half, roughly?
Getting close to 200. Mark.
Almost 200 junk cars throughout the city. People will, of course, we contact them first, try to ask people to do something, and then we move it forward. So you see all that. Let's go on to the building official. You got a permit report in there for April. Anything you need to tell them?
Relatively slow right now this month.
Okay, anybody got any questions on the building official report? Now, we got 2 other items there. One of them says property cleanup complaints. So that is where we bring new stuff to you that we need the city council to take action on. This could be a grown-up lot. This could be dilapidated structures. It could be vacant or people living in it. We got a lot of this, as y'all know. I thought we might have a couple ready for you to act on tonight, but I understand, Rob, that's most everything we thought we were going to bring is the folks are responding to it. So we don't have anything to ask you to condemn. I do want to give you an update on several that you've asked us to clean up or move forward by carrying people to court. We're starting to carry people to court because Otherwise, it's costing us a fortune to clean all these places up and they won't pay. And the only way we can get our money back, and we're talking about sometimes thousands of dollars, the only way we get our money back is file a lien, and that can take years to get the money. So the taxpayers are footing the bill for all of it. We're gonna try to go to court. Rob has been dealing, for several months now, putting all this together. The council, y'all know you amended some ordinances to give us the authority to do it, but we had to work out all the details with the prosecuting attorney's office. The district judge wanted to make sure he had copies of all of our ordinances and our laws, so he knows what he's looking at when he makes rulings. And I think y'all authorized us to go ahead with, is it 3 of them?
Yes.
3 of them, and I think those tickets will be issued just in a matter of days.
Yes. Yeah.
Just in a matter of days. I had promised that I would go myself and talk to one of them before we took any action. That was on Phillips Street. And I'm trying to set up a meeting to go over there, so I am gonna follow through on that. The other ones, we're gonna issue the tickets. And then depending on how this other one goes, we'll see. We gotta do something about this, in my opinion. We can't just keep on letting people beat the system, and that's what a lot of people are trying to do. And where people are getting help, people are offered to help, volunteer to help them, we're trying to give them some time as well. Mr. Tollfree?
Oh, before you get off that subject, I see right here we have in our packet the second annual Polish the Pink.
Yes.
Or that cleanup is gonna be on May 31st, 2025, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It'll be located, the headquarters will be located right there off of Martin Street at the City Park. And we did that last year, and it was kind of like a generalized, but this year we're picking certain areas to go ahead on and do things in. And it's a QR code you can get for the sign up, but if you don't do all that, you can show up on that morning on May 31st and volunteer your time and see what you can do.
Thank you, sir. And you notice Councilmember Atkins is a major player in that and has done it before. This is not but she's really trying to work on that. So I want to thank you, Mr. Tollfree. I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah, I'm gonna feed.
Sir?
I'm gonna feed.
Well, then I'm gonna show up.
I know.
Hey, I'm gonna show up. All right, let's try to keep moving here. I know some other people got other places they gotta be, but I want to get everything covered. Anything else, Johnson, anything else from yours?
No, sir.
You might want to hang around though. We got some stuff under new business that requires some discussion. Street foreman, you could get him in here quickly. I'm trying to pay attention to time, council members, but I don't want to run off and get something that y'all want to ask or talk about, so just tell me if you do. Mr. Hernsberger, you're recognized.
Good
Tell them
evening.
what you do.
Good evening.
We doing like always, we patching potholes and digging ditches. We all have started on the cleanup for our preparation, I should say, for the Tomato Festival. Getting our sweeper truck sweeping. We're just plugging right along, best we can.
Has anybody got a particular question they got for him? I want to add this. We're doing a lot of weed spraying because we can't cut the same ditch every 2 weeks. No way. Don't have the personnel, the time, anything else to do it. A lot of people in the community, even though it's a public right-of-way in the ditch, there's a lot of people that just take care of that themselves when they mow their yard. Some people can't. We understand that. But if it's not being cut regularly, we're trying to go in there and cut these places, and we're spraying them. We're trying to kill the grass for the summer because it's the only way to keep up and try to maintain it. And we got tons of it all over town. So just wanted to pass that on, so we're spending as much time as we can doing that as well. Any questions for Mr. Hernsberger? Street Committee, Councilmember Mosley.
Okay, We're still working on the guidelines for dedicated streets. Also, we are, we've taken under consideration the speed bump on North Light Street. We're checking the different avenues, which way that we need to go on that.
So you don't have a recommendation tonight on
Not
that?
tonight, I don't. We had a public street hearing, we had 2 people to come, and, we're looking into both of those and seeing what we can get done. We are actively working on it.
All right, so nothing else from the committee, no recommendations from the committee?
Question, I have some letters here.
Yeah.
You said 1 but 2, but how many? I see 1, 2,
No,
3,
that-
4,
She
5,
brought
6.
that, they did not come to the meeting.
Oh, that was just concerned citizens about that project.
I believe that was Meadowview.
Meadowview.
Yeah, we had several letters, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
she brought
the
that.
committee did.
Okay.
She brought that.
She's here present too.
Okay? Of course, we got a drainage issue there we're trying to address too. That
We're
did get,
working
I
on-
think,
we're
got
working
talked
on
about. We're trying to figure out how we can get that done
Yes.
as quick as possible.
Cause we already approved the street paving, just waiting on the
No, we can't do anything with the street until the drainage is fixed. The drainage, if we go in there and pave the street, leave the drainage like it is, we'll be back in a year.
Yeah, but it was our recommendation to pave it, but we said to hold up until you got the drain.
Well, if we can ever get it, the drainage worked out, that's what we're working on, that's the holdup.
The committee has not presented its final report, Ms. Tollfree, I think is the answer to your question.
Thank you.
But they are working on it, so. Anybody got anything else, Councilmember Mosley, on the committee?
No.
All right, let me move on here to, Parks and Recreation. You can see if Mr. You recognize, Kyle, there's a report in your packet, but anything you need to tell them, please go ahead.
Just tell them we finished up, all high school baseball and softball last week out there. We have a few games time to time, but nothing as, busy as we've been. T-ball also finished up, and we started, me and, Alderman Fraser, we started on the pool today over on the city pool, and, hopefully we'll get it up by, probably, I'd say 2 weeks, we'll be up and running, so. But that's where we're at, we'll be over there for the next 2 or 3 weeks, trying to get it all straightened out.
Council members, you see he's got a broke down report here on everything he has jurisdiction over.
One more thing.
Baseball complex, the city park, go ahead.
I was telling we should be fully staffed at the shooting range this weekend, starting Friday as well. So we've got 2 guys hired. Our number 1 guy kind of over it will be Mr. Mark Thomas, who lives here in town. He'll be kind of in charge of it. Mr. Clinton Webb will be working under him. So we're glad to be fully staffed back out there.
Mr. Webb has been transferred to a new position, and with his, he accepted that, but he's moving to a different job, and so he won't be the animal control officer, but.
What's the other guy's name?
Mark Thomas, yes, he lives right across from Perry's gas station. He lives here in town, just now.
Anybody got any questions?
Thank you.
If you do later, let us know. You contact me or contact Kyle, and we'll be glad to answer anything you want to know. All right, that brings us to Community Economic Development Committee. Councilmember Hooper, chairperson, you've got a couple things there, 3 on your agenda, you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. Number 1 on the agenda, Main Street property, we're still working on that. Number 2, the new city, flag purchases, we're still working on that. We're going on to number 3, the tables and chairs. We have been, researching and trying to find, a budget for the table and chairs for the old street shop that we're renovating and add chairs to the old armory. And we were trying to stay up on the budget of $3,000. And we were able to, find tables and chairs from Amazon, for $2,391.60. And the committee would like to motion to move that these chairs and tables be purchased.
Appropriate
Second.
motion and seconded. Councilmember Henderson. Again, just for our information, how many total chairs and tables are we getting? Do you have that there, just so
Yes, sir.
everybody knows?
It's a total of 15 tables, and 100 chairs.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, that's motion seconds made to authorize the purchase. Question or discussion of the motion? Yeah, Ms. Tolfree.
You know, around the state they have a spot that you go to and get stuff that has been, the surplus, like an army surplus that you get a little than nothing. Did we explore them?
Yes, sir, we did. We've never been able to get to them fast enough. Once we found out they had them, they sell out in about 10 minutes. We have tried that, yes.
You have to have an inside friend up there.
That's one thing that goes in a hurry, I'm sorry, but we have tried it. Other questions or discussion of the motion? The motion is to approve the purchase, okay? That's what you're voting on. All in favor of the motion, show of hands, please. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One absent, that is approved. Thank you, council member. I think that covers everything on your agenda right now.
Yes, right.
Okay. Ways and Means, Councilmember Henderson.
I have no action items.
Okay. Just a request administratively, if I could. I would really like to have a meeting with your committee in the very near future. I've been gathering a lot of information. It's just some things I think y'all need to be aware of and maybe help make some decisions. So when you see fit, you can get that scheduled. I would really request administratively to be able to come and just address some things to the committee and tell you some things I found out and different things. And not that you got to act on any of it immediately, but just to, so I just ask that if I could.
Sure.
Thank you.
We will schedule a meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's get on our boards and commissions. We'll try to go through this very quickly. Reports, this is item number 8 on your agenda. Parks Recreation Commission, they have not met since the last meeting, so nothing there. Planning Commission, you do have minutes of their April 28th meeting. And one of the things that they are recommending is proposed ordinance 972. You have a copy of that. The number would be 972.
I move that we refer this item to the Community and Economic Development Committee.
That's an appropriate motion.
Second.
And it's seconded. Is there any question or discussion? This is to put it in the committee to research it, consider it, and come back with a recommendation. Yes, ma'am.
I've got a question. We got to vote on that first, then I got a question.
Was it about this?
No, sir. I'm sorry.
All right. Any other question or discussion of the motion? Put it in committee. All in favor, show of hands. I see 5 in favor, so that is assigned to the committee. That takes care of item 2 there. So, yeah, did you have something else?
I did on the building.
Commission, or-
I did on the planning commission. Yes.
Go ahead.
I see we have a request for a mobile home to be put at 816 East Cedar Street. When that happens, when a mobile home goes into a neighborhood, do they have to get the signatures from people around?
Rob, come in and explain this. Yes, ma'am.
I
We're
thought so.
supposed to, yes.
Yeah, they come get a packet from my office, and they get the property owners within 200 feet in all directions of where they're requesting the mobile home.
Okay.
And we place a sign in the yard, and we put it in the paper for 2 weeks, letting the public know if they have any complaints or if they're for it, whatever, they can do it.
So if there's let's say if there's one person that complains, what happens? Is their complaint outnumbered, or you know what I mean?
It's different scenarios.
Okay.
I hadn't seen that many, but.
I just noticed a
The
lot.
answer to your question is it's not required. It's not a vote taken based on the number of people that were for it or against it. It's just let the planning commission know who is against
Okay.
it and why. And
Okay.
why. And
I just noticed there's a lot of mobile homes coming in to the neighborhood, into
Been
neighborhoods.
happening for 30 years or longer.
Right.
And they're still coming in. Quite frankly, some of these mobile homes are nicer than some of
No
the
doubt,
houses.
they cost more than them too.
And, yeah.
Okay, I was just
But
wondering the
the planning
process.
commission makes the final decision to answer your question.
Okay.
And it is not, they're granting a variance is what we call it to see, our zoning laws say no mobile homes.
Right.
Unless in a mobile home park, a designated mobile home park. However, you can get this variance. Now, it's for the person that's gonna live there. It's not for rental property. It can't be for, and then somebody can't just, well, I'm gonna sell it to somebody else. They have to go back, it has to be moved, or the new person's coming in there has to come get their approval.
Okay,
That's the way that works. Am I saying that correct?
okay.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, over the years, sometimes that didn't always get followed up on right.
Right.
We're doing a much better job of staying on top of that
Okay.
now.
I was just wondering the
Okay.
process. I thought that was it.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you. Let's see, Aviation Commission. Mr. Johnson kind of handles this too, but you got the minutes there. And again, we, of course, we rededicated, or renamed the Warren Municipal Airport, John B. Fraser Jr. Field. That's been done. Y'all done approved that along with the commission. Had a little ceremony about a week or so ago. Had probably 100 people, I'm guessing, something like that. And I appreciate everybody that could make it. And of course, you can see some other things they're working on there. Yeah, they put it in committee. Okay, moving on, turn to your last page. You got the Water and Sewer Commission. There's two sets of minutes. They had apparently a called meeting and then their regular meeting and then their monthly financial reports. This is strictly for your information, so y'all know what's going on with the Water and Sewer Commission. Housing Authority, you've got minutes from their commission meeting. But I've read over everything yet, I will, but anyway, that's there. If you got any questions on anything, we'll get you an answer. We don't know. You've got the monthly cultural center report. Of course, that center's still not being used, but we have a few expenses still. That's for your information. Unfinished business. There's not anything listed on our agenda. Item 10 is new business. I've got two things I would like to submit as mayor for items 1 and 2. Street drainage improvements. We've had a lot of requests, and we've talked about this for years. I'm just telling you what it's about. This is near the intersection of Kelly and South Bragg Street. Mr. Topher, I think you might have mentioned something about this not too long ago.
Yeah, it's a dangerous spot.
We got some things we need to look at there, and I'm gonna ask that be assigned to the street committee, so we can try to let them look into what they think's best. We may have to get some professional help, but anyway.
I make a motion, we assign it, the corner of Kelly and Bragg to the street committee.
Second.
Correct. Motion and second. Is there any other other question, discussion? All those in favor, show of hands, please. I see 5 in favor, 1 absent. My second one that I'm also asking to be assigned to the street committee. We've got some major problems. I think most of you know this. Big trucks trying to get to Ouachita Hardwood and Townsend Hardwood. They have to go through, even with the truck route as it currently is, they have to go right through residential neighborhoods to get there. But they're not even doing that. They're taking other shortcuts and tearing up jack everywhere they go. People's property, street signs, stop signs. The streets are not capable that they're following to handle the big trucks turning. We've done everything we can to try to get them to pay attention. We have already remarked the truck route with some new signs, starting right here at Pine Street, coming all the way through town, and how to properly get to those plants. But what I'm going to ask the you to do, put in committee, is consideration of trying to get an industrial access road built off of the 189 bypass. It's not a very far across there, and we could just get a decent road, even a gravel road, quite frankly, to get these trucks out of these residential neighborhoods. So I'm recommending that go to the street committee.
I move that this item be referred to the street committee.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any question or discussion?
You're gonna be working hard.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please vote by hand. That's 5 in favor with 1 absent. Item 3, Councilmember Hooper, you placed this on there. This is current ordinance number 970, and I recognize you. There's some information also in the packets.
Yes, Councilman, you will see that I have, some information in the pack. And, I had to complete a detailed research on the mobile food truck, rules and regulations from several other different cities.
Council member, we just need to get it put where you're gonna put it. We're not give a full report on it at this point, okay? It's just what you generally, the purpose is to look at amending it, I understand, right?
Okay, so the Community and Economical Development is motion that we put ordinance 970 back on the agenda.
Refer it back to the Community and Economic Development Committee. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. You heard the motion.
Second.
Seconded. Councilmember Henderson, seconded. Any question or discussion? Is to put it back in committee to consider amendments or whatever that Councilmember Hooper may propose, or even the committee may propose. Question or discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Okay, I see 5 in favor, so it's assigned back to the committee, which will take it back under their jurisdiction and take a look at it. Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor, I have a
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
Because after the adoption of 970, it will go into effect May 23rd. So what does the administration, how does the administration plan
That's,
to
I'm
handle
glad
that?
you brought that up. I'm sorry, I was gonna mention that. Of course, it's the administration's job to enforce the ordinance, and it will go into effect. However, I don't think there's any way the committee's gonna have time to do all this, look at any changes, if we went ahead and, even if we went ahead and started enforcing it. So, my intention is to just not start enforcing it until the committee and the council has had a full chance. I'm just making that decision administratively that we will not do anything to enforce the ordinance, collect money or permits or anything until the committee's had a chance to come up with whatever they're gonna, if anything, and bring it back to the full council. That's my intention, if that's meets with the council's okay. We don't have to vote on it, but just tell you what my intention is.
That's what you get the big bucks for, man.
Thank you, Mr. Colfrey. I appreciate you recognizing that. Very nice of you, okay? All right, thank you. Now, the next thing we got on the agenda is another proposed ordinance. This would be 973. Let me explain to you what it's about, because this has not been through a committee. It doesn't have to. You could send it to one if you wanted to, but it's a routine thing, and normally we don't. This is we have a new business in town, well, it's just on the outskirts of town, that would work on big trucks. It's, the name of the company is Repair All of Arkansas, LLC. You can see that on the ordinance. Mr. Sellers is the, I can't remember what's his first name.
Wasn't Robert, was
it Robert?
I don't know what I was asking.
Well, anyway.
It doesn't say.
Well, it's one of the Sellers, but anyway, it's Tanae Sellers, our water and sewer manager's husband, okay? and he's just opening this business up. Now, this is not an ordinance for us to say he's gonna get all of our business. This is just to say we're eligible to use him, because she is technically a city employee.
Not technically, she is a.
Well, she is, not for the municipal government, but for the water and sewer department, which is a wholly owned public utility. And we checked this out very carefully to make sure we didn't want to do anything. We've done this for other, in the past history, for other council-owned businesses or businesses they were associated with. It is proposed 973. So this is what it's about.
Place ordinance number 973 on its first reading.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. This is put it at 973 on its first reading. Is there a question or discussion of that motion? Okay, all in favor? Can I see a show of hands, please? I see 5 in favor. Proposed ordinance 973, in order to allow the city of Warren to conduct business with Repair All of Arkansas LLC and for other purposes. Whereas the city of Warren, Arkansas has determined that Repair All of Arkansas LLC should be allowed to conduct business with the city. Now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Warren, Arkansas, section 1, that although employees of the city of Warren have interest in Repair All of Arkansas LLC, said company should be allowed to conduct business with the city of Warren pursuant to all applicable Arkansas laws.
Move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 973 on its second reading.
Second.
Motion's made and second. Question or discussion on the motion? This is for second reading. All in favor, show of hands. I see 5 in favor, of course 1 absent. Ordinance 973, an ordinance to allow the city of Warren to conduct business with Repair All of Arkansas LLC and for other purposes.
I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 973 on its third and final reading.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Question or discussion on third and final reading? All those in favor, show of hands. I see 5 in favor. Proposed ordinance 973, an ordinance to allow the city of Warren to conduct business with Repair All of Arkansas LLC and for other purposes.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 973.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to adopt. Is there any final question or discussion? This vote would be to adopt. All in favor, show of hands. I see 5 in favor, 1 absent. That approves the ordinance. There is no emergency clause. We will publish it, and then it will go into effect. Okay, thank y'all. Well, that brings us to announcements. I did want to mention, I think in your package you have a handwritten note from Miss Mary Beth Frazier, basically expressing appreciation and gratitude for the council's action and the Aviation Commission in renaming the airport. So that's just a thank you from them. Okay, announcements. Just so everybody knows some of these things, Warren High School graduation is May 15th, that's this week, 7 p.m., and it's at Lumberjack Arena. The municipal building will be closed, that's this building, Monday, May 26, 2025, in observance of Memorial Day. We will not pick up garbage that day. Okay, there will be no garbage pickup that day. And then item 3, just again a reminder, we're knocking on the door of the Pink Tomato Festival. It's really about a week-long activity, but the biggest part of it's at 13th through the 14th, 12th, 13th, 14th. And then again, I want to remind everybody of the Arkansas Municipal League Annual Convention. This is in June. Has everybody that's intending to go, have you registered? Is there anybody that has not registered? We want to make sure we get that taken care of, okay? Then we got the bills for April of 2025.
One more, Murray, right quick before you
Yes,
go
sir.
through
Yes,
that.
sir.
On tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we will have awards assembly at the Lumberjack Arena for all the awards for the seniors receiving their money, and it probably will be up in the $1 million worth. And then we're going back to open house for the baccalaureate, which will be that evening at 6 o'clock.
Thank you,
Same
sir.
place.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
You got,
We pay
your
the bills?
bills,
Second.
motion second to pay the bills, which I think if I'm looking at right, in total amount, street and general, is about $886,000, if I'm reading that right. That's for the month.
That's what it says.
Motion second to approve the bills as submitted. Is there a question or discussion to that motion? All in favor, show of hands. I see 5 votes in favor and 1 absent. That approves it. Our next meeting is scheduled without further council action. June the 5th will be the agenda meeting.